Hi, and welcome to my new series, ModKit. So, ModKit is a series I've been working on, acting as sort of a guide to how to make a game run as it should do. That's either through tweaking or modding. Many games I've played have had issues that just make them too annoying to play, such as lacking widescreen support or bad textures, or even not working. So these videos are designed as a guide to get them up to scratch. Some of the changes go beyond simple tweaks and into proper modifications and can be down to personal preference, which means it's up to you whether you wish to use them or not. This episode focuses on improving the original Mass Effect for PC. Probably one of my favourite game series of all time, and with some alterations it can be made to look even closer to its sequels. These before and after shots show some of the changes that can occur, especially in anti-aliasing and texture quality. So one of the first requirements needed to actually get the game to run would be to run in administrator mode. This is nearly required for anything running above Windows 7. Administrator mode can be selected by right-clicking a Mass Effect shortcut, choosing Properties, and then selecting the Options menu, where you can then tick the Run as Administrator box. Another thing to consider is actually where you purchased your copy of Mass Effect. This could be either boxed, Steam, or Origin. Boxed copies can be activated on Origin. This gives the bonus of actually allowing you to use all the DLC, including Bring Down the Sky and Pinnacle Station. There shouldn't be any problems using Steam or boxed versions with this guide, although boxed versions may still need patches. The minimum requirements for the game were quite low when it was released, but these changes will reduce your performance. So any changes that have too much of an effect on your system's ability to play the game should be reduced or removed. The next step will involve you starting the game to create the settings files. Click Options followed by Settings. Finally, choose the Graphics sub-option. Here you can see the basic graphic settings of the game. From here we choose High Particle Effects. You can use the drop-down for resolution to select your correct resolution. Dynamic shadows should be enabled. Texture detail should be set to ultra high. Filtering mode to anisotropic. Motion blur on is up to you. Vertical sync should be either on or off, and film grain can be on or off depending on your choice. Any changes allow us to make changes to the game settings that aren't made available in the basic settings. The most important config file, bioengine.config, can be found at the location above. You can open it with Notepad or Notepad++ to make changes. Changing max anisotropic filtering to 16 can improve the texture filtering without an effect on performance. Shadow quality settings can have a big effect on the quality of the game's shadows, but it also has a big effect on the performance of the game. By keeping the max shadow resolution at 2048, you can reduce the amount of effect on performance. The texture quality settings allow higher resolution textures to be loaded by the game. NVIDIA specific settings can be made using the NVIDIA Inspector app. By entering the profile settings, you can then find the Mass Effect profile. From here you can override the anti-aliasing mode with sparse grid supersampling. In my case I've chosen 2x multi-sampling alongside 2x sparse grid sampling. These can be either increased or reduced depending on how well the game is running. Ambient Occlusion is also enabled here, which can add extra depth to a scene by adding additional shadows. The quality settings can be reduced if necessary, and there can sometimes be graphical artifacts caused by this. Additional mods can be added to Mass Effect to improve the quality further. The LAA patch allows more memory to be allocated to Mass Effect, allowing greater texture files to be loaded, and can reduce the number of crashes. Currently the best texture mod available for Mass Effect is the MEUITM mod. This replaces older text mod versions with a more comprehensive texture pack. The textures are well made and the increase in fidelity does make a difference. Overall, the graphical fidelity of the game is massively improved, with much greater shadow detail and darkness added by the ambient occlusion, along with a much crisper image thanks to the anti-aliasing. Shadows show much greater definition thanks to the increased shadow resolution. Cutscenes show off the improved texture quality of the texture pack, with characters such as Shepard showing much greater armour and facial detail. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'm going to make an awful lot more of these. And as always, any comments or suggestions would be appreciated.